Insert witty intro here. I suck at witty intros. I try to come across as funny, it just sounds stupid, so I'm not even going to bother. The video you're about to watch is me going over the basics of how to ride a motorcycle. I'll go ahead and link the chapters so you can kind of fast forward to the spots that you like or go back to the spots that you don't know much about. And yeah, I try to get some different camera angles that hopefully give a different perspective that maybe you haven't seen before. So with that, I'll shut up, I'll send it out to the field, and enjoy the next 15 minutes of learning how to ride a motorcycle.
All right, first thing on how to ride a motorcycle, the kickstand or center stand. It's literally that bit right there, my shadow is pointing to it, that shows the motorcycle standing up on its own. The center stand is just another way. Not all motorcycles have center stands, but starting with controls, there's your kickstand. Next, let's move to the key, and you'll notice that on most motorcycles, the key is going to be somewhere in the middle of the cockpit. This one and most motorcycles also have a lock feature, so I cannot turn the handlebars when the key is locked. So that is where the key goes. All right, let's go over the controls. Let's start with the right side. You have a mirror. You have your accelerator. It's going to be on the right side. Your kill switch, which is up. Your starter, which is on. Sometimes that is the same button. You may also have some different buttons over here, but primarily it's going to be to start and stop the bike, to accelerate and decelerate. Also, you have a lever on the right hand. That is your front brake lever. So, accelerator, front brake, kill switch, starter. Moving over to the left side, another mirror. You have, this one doesn't rotate, but you have your clutch lever. You will also typically have blinkers on this side, as well as any other information you might need. High beams are up here on this motorcycle. There's a little trigger. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes it's a switch. But you will have a horn, blinkers, a hazard switch if equipped, other controls, clutch, and high beams or headlights controls on this side. Moving down to the left side of the motorcycle, you have foot pegs right here. One on this side, one on the other side. You will also have passenger foot pegs, which fold away. You have that lever right there, which is your gear shift. It goes both up and down. I'll show you that here in a bit. And then on the right side of the motorcycle, of course, foot pegs and passenger that fold away. And this is your rear brake lever. So your front brake lever is your right hand. Your rear brake lever is traditionally your right foot. Okay, so how do you sit on a motorcycle? Well, first thing you got to do is get on the motorcycle. So what you're going to do is you're going to approach it from the left side of the motorcycle as if you were sitting on it, or the clutch side. And you're going to take your right leg and swing it over the seat. Some motorcycles will have a high rear seat or some sort of rear luggage, so that might be a little more difficult. With the kickstand down, a way you can do that is actually to step on the foot peg on the left side and then kick your foot over. So that looks something like this, stepping on the left foot peg, and then I can swing my leg over. It's far easier than if I were trying to stand on the ground and swing my leg over. They're both doable, but that's probably the best way to do it. Okay, so let's talk about sitting on the motorcycle. What you're going to want to do is be comfortable sitting upright, looking over the windshield. I'm not looking through the windshield, I'm looking over the top of it. This is literally just here for wind. It's not here like in a car to allow me to see through it. It's meant to look over. So I'm going to sit upright so I'm comfortable and I can see over the windshield. I'm then going to rest my feet on the foot pegs. And you notice my toes aren't flared out, they're kicked in. So comfortably on the foot peg, and the angle of your leg will make a difference to you. Some people, like on a sport bike, you're leaned over really far forward and your legs may be kicked back like this. On cruiser style bikes, you're actually sitting a little further forward, you're leaned back and your feet might be out here. But you're going to want to be comfortable on the bike, sitting upright, looking over the windshield, with your hands comfortably on the handlebars, with your feet on the pegs, toes in, not toes out. Hands on the handlebars, and I'll show you this a little later on, but you're going to want to be covering your levers with either one finger, or your index or your middle finger, or two fingers, both index and middle fingers. Depends on what style of riding you're doing. But basically, to sit on a motorcycle, it looks something like this. All right, so we are on the motorcycle now, and we're going to start it and get going. The first thing we have to do is turn the key to the on position. The dashboard will light up, go through its sequence. Now you'll notice I am in neutral, which you can see here. There's also usually a green light of some sort. This one has a green N. Yours might just have a green light. But don't trust the lights. The lights just mean the lights work. That's all it means. So trust that you're in neutral. But you ultimately, what you have to do to start the motorcycle is pull the clutch in all the way and press the starter button. And the motorcycle will fire up. Now, because we're in neutral, in theory, I could let the clutch out, because what a clutch does is it disengages the engine from the transmission. So if I let this clutch out and the bike's in neutral, it shouldn't go anywhere. But to not trust the electronics, I'm actually going to hold the front brake, so that way if the motorcycle isn't in neutral, it's not going to lurch away from me. So I'm going to slowly let the clutch out, and we're in neutral. I can release the front brake. Alright, so now that the bike is running, it is in neutral. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the clutch in all the way, and I'm going to downshift into first gear. Like that. The bike lurches a little bit. That's why I'm holding the brake. So again, I'll do that again. Bike is in neutral. I'm going to pull the clutch in. I'm going to hold the front brake. I'm going to put it in first gear, and the bike will lurch just a little bit. That's normal. Don't be afraid of that. So now, to get the bike rolling, I have both of my feet on the ground, foot there. I'm holding the front brake, and I'm holding the clutch all the way in. To roll the bike, I'm going to increase my accelerator here. I'm going to increase that till about 3,000 RPMs. Over time, you'll learn how to do this by feel, but start with 3,000, increase it if you need it, decrease it if you need it. So I'm going to go to 3,000 RPMs, which is right about there. And I'm going to do my best to hold it there, and then I'm going to slowly let the clutch out, and the bike will start to roll. So what that's going to look like is a mashup of rotating this hand, put it in neutral so I can talk with my hands. I'm going to rotate this hand while releasing this one. So it's going to look like this, like that there. Okay, here we go. 3,000 RPM, slowly let the clutch out. I don't need to go fast, and the bike is rolling. All right, so to do that again, I'm going to increase to 3,000 RPM right there, and slowly let the clutch out. Now, why 3,000 RPM? Well, it's very simple. As you can see, as I let the clutch out, the motorcycle RPMs go down. So to keep the bike from stalling, I need to slowly let the clutch out until the road speed or rear wheel speed matches that of what the transmission wants at that RPM. So if the bike stalls, I'll show you what it's going to look like if the bike stalls. So I'm going to sit here in first gear, no hand on the throttle or the brake, so the bike is going to lurch on me, and I will let the clutch out quickly. Actually, I'm just going to hold this. There you go. You saw the bike lurch, it jumps, it stalls. That's okay. Pull the clutch in all the way, press the button, and it will fire right back up. So again, what that looks like when it stalls is that. It's not going to jump away from you and go down the street by itself. The motorcycle, because it has no gyroscopic effect with the wheels, will eventually fall over. Yes, it may suck. Your bike may get damaged, but it's not going to go off into eternity like a car would. Okay, so now that we have mastered getting on the bike, starting it, and getting going, let's talk about changing gear. So the way it's going to work is you're going to be accelerating. Obviously, we've gotten going, so the clutch is all the way out, but I'm still keeping my two fingers over it. I'm accelerating. I get to a point where my RPMs are high enough I now need to change gears, so to go from first to second. I'm going to release throttle, pull my clutch in, pull up into second gear with my left foot, and then slowly increase throttle while releasing the clutch. So it's this dance that you do with your hands where you increase, right, and then you're going to change gears. So you this, that, this, that. And while this is here, that's where you change gear with your left foot. So increase throttle, clutch, throttle off, throttle on, clutch. So we'll see what that looks like here. All right, first gear. I'm going to increase my RPMs to get going. All right, I'm going. Now I want to change gear. I'm going to throttle off, clutch in, second gear, throttle on, clutch out. All right, let's do that again. Here we go. All right, I'm going. Now I'm going to throttle off, clutch in, up into second, throttle on, clutch out. Just like that. All right, so now let's talk shifting down. It's going to be the exact same thing, except to shift down, I'm going to be going and traveling at a speed. I'm going to release throttle, clutch in. I'm going to click down with my left foot, right? So I'm here, and then again, I'm going to slowly bring in some throttle as I slowly let the clutch out. Downshifting, if I let the clutch out too much, it's going to slow that rear wheel down really fast, and I may act as like a brake, where my rear wheel may chirp or skid or slide, and we don't want that. So we're going to slowly let that clutch out. You'll also notice that the act of doing that will slow the motorcycle down without the use of any brakes. It's called engine braking. So again, we're going along. I'm going to throttle off, clutch in, shift down, and then if I need to, put some throttle on, but I'm going to slowly let that clutch out. So it's going to look something like this. We're going to get going. We're going to go quickly so I can get up into second. There's second gear, and now I'm going to clutch off, throttle in, downshift, and slowly let the clutch out. You can hear it in the motorcycle's engine, and I haven't touched the brakes. So let's do that again. All right, here we go. Doing it again, going into the sun this time. Going to get up to speed quickly. There's second. I'm going to throttle off, clutch in, downshift, and slowly let the clutch out. I did not use any throttle or brake that time. That was just engine braking. Okay, so now we understand the controls of the motorcycle. We know how to start it. We know how to get going. We know how to shift gears, either up or down. Let's learn how to stop, because that one is pretty important. So the first thing we're going to do when we want to stop is we want to downshift to first gear. However long that takes, start your stop, or start stopping or slowing down long before you need to stop. Otherwise, you get into an emergency braking situation, and that's not fun. So we're going to downshift into first gear. For this test or this demonstration, I'm only going to show you in first gear as if we're already there, because we've already downshifted into first. What you're going to do is you're accelerating, you're going to stop accelerating, pull in your clutch. Yes, you can use engine braking, but for the purposes of this, we're going to stop accelerating and pull in our clutch lever. Once that's in and the engine power is no longer going to the rear wheel, then we're going to apply front brake pressure first, and then we're going to slowly add rear brake pressure with our foot. The reason being is, in a car, for instance, you have four wheels, you have one brake pedal. Well, a majority of that braking power actually goes to the front wheels. And the reason it goes to the front wheels is because of something called weight transfer. When I start to brake, the motorcycle will dive, and I'll show you some slow motion footage of that now. But basically what happens is the motorcycle weight begins to go forward because of momentum, and the front wheel has more weight on it than the rear wheel does. So I can, in theory, add more braking pressure to that front wheel than I could the rear wheel before it stops moving or rotating entirely, before the brakes stop that wheel from moving. So front brake pressure is going to be king in stopping. They say 70-30, 60-40. It really depends on speed and weight of the motorcycle as well as the style of motorcycle. But realistically, more than half of your braking power should be going to the front wheel. So when I stop, I'm going to release my accelerator, pull my clutch in all the way, grab my front brake, and then slowly add rear brakes. Now, the foot that goes down first onto the ground, because as I come to a stop, if I don't put my feet down, I'm going to fall over. The foot that goes down first is my left foot. Why? Because my right foot should still be braking. So my right foot is still doing something. So as I come to a stop, I'm going to favor the motorcycle left so that my left foot touches the ground first. Let's see what that looks like. First gear. All right, we're going. I'm going to stop accelerating, pull in my clutch, add front brake pressure, then rear brake pressure, and then lean the motorcycle left so my left foot can come down first. All right, let's do that again. Stop accelerating, clutch, front brake, rear brake slowly, stop with my left foot down so the bike is slightly left. So that's it, the basics of riding a motorcycle. What the controls do, where everything is, how to start it, how to get it going, how to change gears, go faster or slower, and ultimately how to stop. There is a lot more that goes into it. So if you're interested in motorcycling, go look for a Motorcycle Safety Foundation course, an MSF course near you, and learn more about motorcycling. It's a lot of fun, it's a great hobby, and if you practice and do things right, it can be fairly safe. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll catch you on the next episode. Let's go enjoy some riding.